Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts and going over some options data. Unity Software, this is the ticker symbol U, $42 call expiring June 20th, and also going to be looking at the $65 call that expires January 16th. I do have one contract in this at $1. Could have made 10%, 20% profit on this, but I just held it, and now we are currently lower than my average, more than 50% down. So not looking so great there, but I've got until January 16th, so I'm not in a rush with this one. The other contract, I did buy a couple last week at 50 cents, which, I was the high on that day, got filled right at open. That was a bad move, but then I did get the low for those 2 days at 36 cents, got my average down here from 107 down to 86 cents, and I do have a limit sell placed for this one at 103. We will have to wait and see if the data is suggesting that the bottom could be near. And so let's just first look over at the chart. And I have this, channel that goes back in time that we've really been accumulating in. I think it just looks really, really nice. But I do think that we could be coming down to, I've got an alert at $20 right there. We closed at on Friday on the 7th at $21.04 after hours being at 21. And part of the reason why I think that we could be coming down to around $20 is if we do look at this Fibonacci retracement. I do have the 618 at 21.64. We are trading below that, and so maybe what I want to do is remove that level. So we just have the 786 up there, and that 786 is at 1973. That is also pretty close to the 200-day moving average, which, let's see, the 200-day moving average is at $20.17. Can't see it over here on the side because I got my alert covering it, but you can see it up there at 2017. Also, we do have this gap that has yet to be filled. Maybe that's kind of aligned with my AMC thesis that we leave the gap behind, leave people wanting that gap to be filled to load the boat at that level, leave them behind, take off, and then they load the boat up here after they've recognized they have been left behind. And so that gap is at a price of $19.80. And also corresponding with that 786 at 1973. So we just have a lot of levels here, right around $20 a share. One being the 200-day moving average, another being the gap, another being the 786, and another being the psychological level of $20 a share. And we also have this uptrend here, going back to the lows, going back to August 7th, of 2024, that was a low of $13.90. Also the lows over here when there was again a confluence of levels here. And so I see again, we could be seeing that confluence of levels right around $20 a share. So I don't have a buy order for shares, but I'm going to write it down here just to, get one share, nothing too crazy at $20. And then to see how this takes off. And we do have earnings coming up on the 20th for Unity. Maybe that's a catalyst for this to start to take off if it's around these levels. And so I think, if this comes down to $20 and we start to see some unusual whales data suggesting that the bottom is in, I think then it's the time to load the boat and to see this really take off. Again, like we saw over here, and just let's get a measurement on that move from the confluence of those levels. It went up by 65%, and so maybe we see that again over here. So I think it's good to just be patient at this point with this one before the buy signals really start to come in. But let's look over at the unusual whales data here, not for the individual contracts, for all of the contracts, looking at the volume and the net premium. And so here, this is just one day looking at Friday, the 7th. We do have volume increasing a little bit, but then over the course of the end of the day, some selling and it being kind of flat. We do see net call premium in green being negative over the course of the day and ending the day notably more negative. Whereas put premium was kind of flat, but then some selling there, which is a little bit bullish. But given that the net put premium came down a lot less than the net call premium, that suggests to me that this is more net bearish. So if we look at the data over here, we can see net put premium came down by nearly $34,000 versus the net call premium came down by more than $320,000. A lot more bearish there. And if we do look at the bearable slider, we do see it at 53%. So that is a majority very clearly, even considering this neutral, maybe it's at 54%. Maybe it's no matter what going to be at least 53%. So yeah, that doesn't look so good. I don't think the bottom is in just yet with Unity. So I am looking for a dip to around 20 bucks. Like I said, I think it's going to be the time to load the boat. I'm excited for it. But looking at the data here for the past 14 days, what can we see? What stands out? We do see some calls being positive here, but that's only up by 124,000. And on that day, that was the 6th, we see net put premium coming down by more than $300,000. So overall, that's net bearish on that day. And yeah, big call premium coming down here. So on the 5th, net call premium came down by over $580,000. But, on that same day, net put premium also came down, but only by $127,000. So that's still, net bearish. And generally, we do see some calls being bought up here. Also, some puts being bought up. So that kind of balances that. And so, yeah, I don't think that just yet we are at the bottom yet. But I do think it is good that we're not seeing calls going up so much here. And this day did end up pulling back some. This was the 24th net call premium increased by $581, almost $82,000, but then sold off some, ending the day around net put premium being up about $118,000. But yeah, there's just not clear signals in this just yet. And looking back at this chart, because I think it looks just beautiful, 20 bucks, that is going to be the dip for Unity. And at that time, I think we'll start to see a lot more bullish data. And that's going to be supported, I think maybe by a catalyst around earnings, maybe by Roaring Kitty tweeting something cryptic, whether it's Unity, whether it's GameStop, who knows. But I am feeling pretty good about this.